I got another question for you. And this is another one where I wage war.
Yes, sir.
The Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant against the 72-10 Bulls. Who wins that series? And before you answer, I'm going to tell you this. Honestly, and I'm being nice, I give the Warriors a game. I think it's a sweep, but I give them a game.
No, I give them 2.
But you, okay.
But I'm going with the Bulls.
Okay.
I give them 2. Because you look around at that Chicago Bull team and you look at that Golden State team, and, you know, this is always the question. Oh, who going to guard Steph? Who going to guard Clay? Who going to guard? Okay, you do know they had 3 of the best defenders of all time.
The Bulls.
Yeah.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, in Michael Jordan,
Scottie Pippen, Ron Harper,
Dennis Rodman, and Ron Harper. So they're going to guard the shit out of them.
But here's what the the fans, the people that ain't never played will say. Man, who's stopping Steph with the threes and Clay with the threes?
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
So I'm going to say Rod or MJ is guarding Steph.
Right.
Rod or MJ is guarding Clay.
Right.
Kevin Durant, Scottie Pippen got you.
Now, he's not stopping a Kevin Durant.
He's not stopping him, but he going to make it hard.
He going to give
Kevin,
make it KD hard. The migraine he got.
He going to make it because, again, Scottie 6'7", 6'8",
right.
long. You know, Kevin 6'11", really.
Right.
He ain't going to stop him, but he going to be right there on every shot.
Okay.
And he going to be in his ass to make him put it on the floor. He not going to give him open shots.
And Dennis Rodman will literally be in Draymond's ass.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, be in it.
Again, that's a carbon copy.
Right.
You know, those are two.
Right.
You got 2 great defenders.
Yes.
Draymond's a great defender.
Right.
Draymond handles the ball and initiates offense. Obviously, that's not Dennis's forte. But rebounding and defending, Chicago beats them in 5-6.
Now, the next player's opinion is very interesting because he's not only a player but also an NBA coach. He played for the 1996 Chicago Bulls and he coached the Golden State Warriors. So, who would know better than Steve Kerr? Let's take a look.
Historically?
Yeah, if you take any of the great teams, you're matching them up with the 17 Warriors. Who's the team that you're like, oh shit, they would be a problem? Because I would say the 86 Celtics, but I'm biased.
Yeah, and I'm biased, so I'm going to say the 96 Bulls. And I mean, I think, honestly, when I look back at that Bulls team, that team was actually built to play today. Now, minus the volume of three-point shooting, but I think that team was capable of it. But when you're talking about the versatility that you need to defend today, if you throw out onto the court Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc, and Dennis Rodman, that's a 2020 defense.
Right.
Those 5 guys can guard anybody, and then offensively, you know, nobody ever could guard Michael Jordan then. You can only imagine now with the spacing and the rules, and Kukoc was unbelievable. He was way better than people really remember him for.
When I heard this at home, I had this one question: what rules are we playing?
Ooh.
Right. Are we playing at your time?
Salary cap.
Or are we playing now?
Okay.
Because hand checking in their time,
right?
There's no hand checking now. You touch them now, it's a foul. In their time, they can push you all around the court.
It would have been harder for the Warriors to score driving because in the 90s when you drove, you get chucked with a forearm.
All that running through the paint.
Through the paint.
Man.
You get held. You know, all these ticky-tack fouls from the 3 they wasn't called. And so, you know, if they played in today's rules, maybe Golden State, because they have the advantage of today's rules. But if they played in the 90s, I don't think it'll be close.
Hard fouls are different. Flagrant fouls are different. Like what they're looking at for flagrant. Now, that was a typical foul. Let's go. Like, I mean, it's just different. And we're talking about, like, free flowing, do what you want, you can't touch me.
Right.
And we're talking about physical basketball. I mean, I remember playing against Scottie my rookie year trying to figure it out. Like, I'm looking at the ref like, that's a foul.
Right.
That is a foul.
He says,
Did you see that? He's like,
welcome to the
and they give you one of these,
man.
play on.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, man, you used to laugh.
Speaking in an era where, I mean, look at Golden State. They won 73 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
Now they go out and get arguably the best player in the game. I mean, so it's hard to make those comparisons and not have the rules in place too.
That's my only thing.
That's
the rules, like which rules are you playing? And then I think that makes you can kind of decide. You can kind of decide, so to speak. But I mean, both teams are good, and it's like it's all hearsay.
I mean, this
It's
is
good barbershop talk.
Right,
I
and
mean,
people-
jump
I
talk.
guess
wanna talk about the
a better
matchups.
question is, which team is better? The 73 Golden
Win.
State team with the wins? Or the team that won, what did they win this year?
66, 67.
Right.
I mean, which one of those teams are better?
I think most people would take this year's team, right?
Golden State Warriors were in the era of the Chicago Bulls. They would just reconstruct their big guys. They would have a guy like Rick Mahorn on their team, and then they would be able to play that way. But if you put Rick Mahorn in this era, he wouldn't be able to guard Draymond Green because he wouldn't be able to come out and guard him. But in that era, they would just have to change personnel slightly and then still be as good. If you add guys like, and no disrespect, but if you add guys like, if you give Steph Curry and Klay Thompson the same big men that Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars had, they could do the same thing in that era. But they would need James Edwards. So you would just change the personnel. It wouldn't change the way they win.
You missed one point. The defense was, constructed a little different. Like,
no, that's why you got to change personnel.
No, but I'm saying back then you was able to hand check. And
Right, so you just change personnel a little bit.
They'd be good, but they're not going to win.
But if you took the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah would still be Isaiah, without question. But Rick Mahorn couldn't guard Draymond Green in this era. He couldn't guard him in this era.
No, he could, but we're not comparing them to this era. We're talking about the Chicago
But you can't take that team because they're constructed under the rules that are here. So they're saying, okay, under these rules, can you bring those teams here?
Actually, listen, and people like, even when you try to make a fair, honest comparison, people think you're hating. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Tony Kukoc, Ron Harper would be better today. They would be better players today, in my opinion. Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Tony Kukoc, they would be better. There's no hand checking Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Tony Kukoc.
I'm just saying.
Who would win between the 72-10 Bulls and the Warriors with KD? And I'm gonna be honest with you. I give the Warriors maybe 2 games.
Ooh.
Maybe.
So what you really have,
and I don't give a damn about the eras.
No. Okay, so when it comes to styles, you have a defensive team.
4 to 5 starters.
You're talking about
premier defenders.
You're talking about premier, just straight premier defenders, and they're all at the same position.
2 3-point assassins.
And then you have all guard play on the. But you have Michael Jordan.
You got Scotty.
You have Michael. They have a KD.
Scotty's on KD. He ain't stopping KD, but it's gonna be a tough day at work.
So Mike on Steph? Who's stopping Steph?
Ron Harper's gonna be a problem.
You're going to pick
Ron. Mike on Clay?
Micha's destroying Clay.
Yeah, it's gonna, so you got to remember, it's because that was the team, that was a small ball team that nobody actually paid attention to.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a perfect matchup.
You know, in my opinion, the 1996 Bulls are the greatest team of all time. And I want to give credit where credit is due. The Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant were a sensational team. But defensively, I mean, come on, they had Pippen, they had Jordan, they had Rodman, and they had Ron Harper, 2 of the greatest defenders of that era. And I just think defensively, they would kill the Warriors. And yeah, as I said, in my opinion, they were the greatest team of all time, and nobody will be able to change my mind when it comes to that. All right, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.